Hi everyone, welcome. It's Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's time for Stamping with Denise. I'm so happy you're here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. We got the usual housekeeping. Please, if you like my video, please share my video, comment, share down in the comments. Then your name will be entered to win the project I'm working on tonight. If you remember last week, I showed you how to make 4 really easy cards at one time. Remember that? By stamping it all on one big sheet of paper and then cutting the white paper up and making cards out of them. Well, because she commented, and her name was chosen, Maria Sanchez is going to get one of the cards I made last week. Maria, if you have a color preference, let me know. Otherwise, I'll choose one, send it out to you in the next couple of days. Let's see. If you're watching on YouTube, welcome. Please, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel, and then once you do so, please click that little blue bell and you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video, which is most every Monday night. From Stampin' Up, I guess the big news with Stampin' Up is that there's still that great joining special if you want to join my team. For $99 and and the shipping is free, you choose $125 of any Stampin' Up product you want, and then you'll also, if you join before February 28th, you'll get the stamping positioning tool. I showed that a couple of weeks ago on a video, so you might want to go back and look at that. It was at the end of the video. That was probably February 2nd was probably the video. So you can go back and you can look at that one. So today I think I've got, again, I'm going to highlight another product that's in the annual catalog, and I'm not sure you've seen it. It was one that I would have missed, but I was also puzzled on how to use it. So I'm going to switch down to my hands and we're going to get started. So the product I'm talking about is on page 115 of the annual catalog, and is this textured metallic 12 by 12 specialty paper. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Let's see if I can do that. Right there. And it's cool because it's got this texture in it. It's different than our regular metallic papers, which are down here, that are very smooth. This has a texture. And I used up almost all the gold that I had, but then I had the copper, which is perfect for fall, and you know what, it went right past me and I didn't even use it. But this other color here is tungsten, and I wasn't sure how to use it. So that's page 115 of the annual catalog. Let me pull out the product. Let me zoom back out here. Whoops, that looks good. Okay, so this product number is 163772, and you get 3 12 by 12 sheets, one of each color. Let me get this here, hold on. So we've got the copper. I put this little piece in here. These are the 3 colors that come with it. Come in the package. Oh, got a lot of little gold pieces. You can see I used almost all of it. So it has this really pretty copper, it has this really pretty gold, and this tungsten. And I wasn't sure how to use the tungsten. But I wanted to see if I can show you that texture. See that texture on there? Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. So here is the tungsten. It's got the same texture on it. You can see it there. It's kind of got a purplish overtone, or undertone, I guess I should say. And then here is the copper. I don't usually have trouble using copper. This last fall season just came and went, and I totally forgot I had it. But I had wanted to try and use this, and I wasn't really sure what I was going to coordinate it with. I don't know. I was stumbled. I had a roadblock. Brain fart, senior moment, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to change the view over here to my back to my computer, and on Saturday I did a Google search and says what Stampin' Up! Colors coordinate with tungsten, and this is what came up, and this was pretty helpful to me. So some of the colors that it recommended were colors that have been retired, like boho blue, moody mauve, copper clay, and wild wheat. Those are gone. Let me see. You know what? Let me hold on here. You can't see the whole thing. It goes under dark, and I'm not sure how to change that for you to see the whole screenshot. So anyway, let's talk. First it says that you pretty in pink you could use. Then it says dark navy, dark blues like Nighted Navy or Misty Moonlight. Below that it says earthy greens like Old Olive and Mossy Meadow. And then it says cream or white, like very vanilla and basic white. So that kind of gave me a starting point, you know, kind of got me unblocked on what to use it with. So I went and I looked at my designer series papers to see what might have those, some of those colors. And I pulled this out, and specifically this piece here, hold on, is it this one here? It's this one. This is the Florals in Bloom. Covered almost all of those. I've got blues, I've got purples, I've got greens. And I thought this is the perfect paper to use that with. Let me pull that tungsten out. And look at that. I think it was a great choice. And so that's what I'm going to use today. The back of this paper is green. We're going to use both sides. Both of these products are in the annual catalog. This is Florals in Bloom. It's item numbers 165175. Colors in this paper: Bubble Bath, Cloud Cover, Darling Duckling, Garden Green, Granny Ample Green, Peach Pie, Petunia Pop, Pretty in Pink, Secret Sea, Shy Shamrock, Strawberry Slush, Summer Splash, and Timid Tiger. So lots of the end colors. And I had not used any of these sheets. I've used several of the others. But if you haven't seen this, okay, this one's more pinks and oranges, pinks, peaches, and reds. This one's got a little bit of all the colors in it. Of course, this is the color I just showed you, or the designer series paper I just showed you. This one here's, oh, I didn't even see this one when I was digging through. Let me look at this one. Ooh, this is pretty. I like this. Oh yeah, look at that with that blue and that green and that peach. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, I like that a lot. I didn't even see that when I was digging through. You know, it amazes me. I will find stuff I'm not expecting in the most unusual places. Here's some pinks and purples and greens and a little bit of blue that would gone beautifully. And then this one is mostly pinks and light purples and some peaches. So anyway, almost all the paper in this pack would go with this tungsten. So I decided to do a couple of cards using that one piece of designer series paper that I highlighted. So this is what I came up with. This stamp set here, it has a coordinating die, but it's this paper tags. It's on the last chance. But I wanted to use a nice big sentiment, and this one's perfect. It's a wonderful day to celebrate you. I know I've featured it before. I like it. It's a very versatile sentiment. So I think we're going to kind of do these together, okay? So this base here, let me double check, is Shy Shamrock. This one here is Cloud Cover. Those are 8.5 by 5.5, and they're folded in half. This designer series paper is 1.5 by 5.5. The foil, the tungsten foil, is actually, I think that's actually 2 inches wide, and then the designer by 5.5. But if you don't want to use that much and waste what's underneath, I totally understand. These little strips, you could cut 2 strips that were 1/4 inch by 5.5 and put them down separately. I just decided this was less fussy. Of course, then I have some white to stamp on. That would be a piece that's about 2.5 by 3. And then the background matte cardstock colors here are Granny Apple Green and Secret Sea. And that's also the ink colors. And the cardstock size for those were 2 3/4 by 3.5. And I'm going to show you the die I used. It's this beautifully celebrated. It just came out here this spring. I think it's from the mini catalog. So the second one cut my white sentiment out. The third one cut the frame or the mat out. And I think it just is gorgeous. So let's go ahead and just throw those together super quick. Nothing hard or anything like that. To me, the hardest thing is just getting the stamp right, huh? So I hope it's warmed up where you're at. It's warmed up where we're at. The snow's melting. But it just amazes me how many deer we have that have been coming to our backyard and eating out of our bird feeder. Go figure. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, this designer series paper piece is 1.5 by 5.5, okay? Again, I used a full piece of the tungsten just because I didn't want to deal. But if you don't want to waste that much, which I totally get, those strips are 1/4 inch wide on either side there. Let me see how I'm doing here. Perfect. Okay, let's put this on here. So anyway, you know, so I know a lot of people struggle with what colors to combine together. So when you are in that spot, you know, I've often recommended to, you know, be guided by the colors that are together in a pack of designer series paper. But as you could see, I just put it in Google and Google came up with good ideas. And there's probably more, but that was plenty. Okay, so I'm going to get out my Secret Sea ink and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one. And like I said, I already cut these out. So let's get this on here. So, okay. I'm gonna get rid of this right now. Let's put that on there. And I really like this die set. I like these frames, these dies. This is a fun shape, a very versatile shape, and it's one that I'll be keeping. My sentiment's a little crooked, but that's okay. Let me clean that stamp before I forget, because we're using the same stamp in a different color. So before I clean my stamp, I usually stamp off on a piece of scrap paper. Just keeps my chamois from collecting as much ink. It doesn't become quite as dirty quite as fast. But I do throw my chamois in the wash machine, usually with jeans or dark colored towels. You know, no fabric softener or anything like that. But then of course, it doesn't go through the dryer. So again, we're going to use the opposite side for this one, and I think this would make a great masculine card this way, with this designer series paper showing this side of it. What it reminded me at first was a fish, kind of like fish bubbles, in which case I'd want them going that way instead of this way. But I'm not doing fish right now, but I thought fish was a good. So if you've got a set of stamps or dies that feature fish, you might want to consider this paper, or this piece of this designer series paper. Let's make sure I'm all here. Yep. I always like to do a dry fit before I put it on, especially when it's running. It's supposed to be exact. Now I know these are not exact, and and it drives me nuts, but I also have to not worry so much about that. It's just off a little bit here. There, that's about a 1/4 inch on that side right there. There we go. This is Granny Apple Green. Let me get another white one. I have cleaned my stamp. I'm getting out Granny Apple Green ink. I had to re-ink it, so hopefully I get a good stamp. Because after this, I only have one more spare die cut before I have to go cut another one. That's pretty good. I'll keep it. So these go together super simple, as you can see. And I just think that little bit of metallic just gives it a little extra oomph. Okay. Actually, it's not too crooked, I don't think. It's just that the celebrate's at an angle. Okay, so we're going to put some dimensionals on the back of these. You know, I use them all the way to the end. Usually I cut them ahead of time. I don't usually like to rip them. But. So let's put this on. And these are almost done. Oh, well, I'm thinking about it too. If you're local to me and would like to come to one of my classes, my next class is this Friday and Saturday from noon to 2. We do 4 cards, 2 of each design. So you do 4 designs, 2 of each. You go home with 8 cards. So you've got 1 to keep and 1 to send, and 1 to keep as a sample. And it's at my home. So if you're interested, want more information, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. So, okay. What embellishments did I use? On this card here with the cloud cover, I used the 2025-2027 in color flat pearls. Okay, so I used different embellishments for each card just because of the color. And so these are all of our newest in color colors. We got Strawberry Slush, Darling Duckling, Timid Tiger, Cloud Cover, and Secret Sea. And I just love this Secret Sea. I really do. So I'm going to go there. And go. There we go. It's such a nice neutral. I hope that when we have our next color refresh, that it becomes one of our regular colors. It's not as blue as Night and Navy. It's not as black as Memento Black. This is Sparkle Dot Essentials with Garden Green, Night and Navy, Petunia Pop, and Pretty in Pink. I had not used these, so I decided time to use these. And although this is Garden Green, I think it works well. And so we'll put these right on here. So please, if you have any questions about my local classes, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them. If the time my classes are scheduled just don't work for you, we can find another time to have you come over and stamp. I like to do it within the week that I'm holding my other classes, so but I'd be happy to have you come. So these are my 2 cards for today, featuring the tungsten color. Let's see what this is actually called. Textured metallic specialty paper, 12 by 12. And we used the tungsten. So there you go. If you have it at home, didn't know what to do with it, now you do. If you don't have it, now you need it, you know where to get it. Oh, okay, very good. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you next Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Stamping with Denise. Bye now, everybody.